3816.
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
And good morning. Welcome to our Guest of the Day segment brought to you by Farm Bureau Financial Services. Bill Thomas, agent. We've got a couple of guests that we are scheduled to talk to today, but first, Dr. Kritsten Rickey, West Delaware School Board meeting last night. Time for a recap, right?
Right. Good morning.
All right. So first, I'm sure everybody is, a lot of folks supporting the bond issue last week. So the county supervisors have canvassed the votes, and it's going to happen.
Yes. And so we really want to say thank you so much to the community for the support, and also for so many people who called and asked questions, came to the open houses, and really tried to learn about what we were asking so that they understood before they place a vote. So we are really grateful to the community for that support. And we're getting started on that right away. We're already meeting with our architects and engineers, and they have told us the timeline will be they'll start designing right away. And it takes a while for a project of this size to move forward. And so they'll complete all those designs. Of course, we'll have lots of school board meetings and places for public to have comments or to watch what's happening. But anticipating that we'll go to bid in December, keeping in mind that those bids will be for local construction companies to actually do the work. Those bids will go out in December. So we will be able to get on the summer construction schedule of 2022. So that's kind of the timeline. And again, we just want to say thanks for the community. This is going to be good for the entire community.
All right. And just a couple of other things that we wanted to cover today at your meeting. You set the date for your public hearing on the fiscal year 22 budget.
That's right. So the budget is due for schools every year, April 15th. And so April 12th is our board meeting. We'll have a public hearing that allows people to comment on the budget. It will have to be posted prior to that, so people will have an opportunity to look at it. And that budget really just sets out some big picture. It doesn't go into the nitty-gritty detail of exactly how everything will be spent, but it looks at big picture categories. So how much will we spend on instruction? How much will we spend on physical plant and so on? And we'll lay out the tax levy. So that will be important information. So we'll have the public hearing meeting, and then we'll actually ask the board to approve it in that same board meeting on April 12th.
So you discussed an update on your ESSER funds and staffing. What are ESSER funds?
Right. So ESSER is the acronym that is used for the federal COVID relief funds that come to schools. So that's federal allocation that comes through the state. And then there's a number that they use to determine what individual school districts receive. So we've received ESSER funds one time already, and those helped us pay for things like some of the food service programs over the summer, the cost to deliver those foods to our outlying areas, some of the cleaning supplies and extra furniture to get students spaced further apart, those kinds of things, and some other things as well, some staffing things. We then had a second round of ESSER funds that we have until September of 2023 to spend. There's a wide range of things that we can spend them on that are COVID related. What our district is planning to spend it on is, as much as we can, instruction. So especially at our elementary levels where it was most impactful to students to lose instruction during school closure last year. Of course, that impacts all of our students, but the primary foundation levels of reading are very critical, and we have to make up that instructional time. So we are very excited about being able to offer additional instructional supports beginning in the fall. We're actually doing some things right now already, but beginning in the fall, we'll have extra reading supports, extra math supports, looking at extra counseling support. So we're going to use those ESSER funds to directly impact our students, and we're really proud of that. There are some other flexibilities we'll use some of the funds for, but primarily they will be for instruction to help our students get caught up with that lost learning.
All right. So let's talk about your internet provider, something we don't think about very much, but of course has become extremely important to for everyday activity pretty much at the school. You approved your bid for that last night. Tell us about it.
Yes. And so it's exactly as you said, there is so much dependent on our internet. So the things that typically people think about for internet are important, but also things like we run our phone systems through the internet. So when the internet would go down, that is a huge concern because we lose not only the internet, but our phone systems, our attendance systems, all kinds of things are dependent on the internet in our district. And so we need to approve a bid for that every 3 years. We generally have a 3-year agreement. And the recommendation last night from our Director of Technology, Joe Hegland, was to continue with our current service provider, which is the ICN. The ICN provides a wonderful service for us, and also we're a hub that serves some of the other areas. The hospital, for example, is served from our ICN hub. And so they do a really good job to maintain that and keep it up to date because it serves many other entities as well. So the ICN's been working very, very well for us, and we'll continue with them as an internet service provider.
All right. And the teaching agreement, we've talked about this before, the University of Northern Iowa, the student teaching agreement. Just touch on that a little bit as you approved that again this year.
Yeah, we are very pleased. That's part of the service that we do, is to help upcoming teachers who are learning to be teachers. We help them through student teaching agreements. So whenever we have a university who's going to send a student teacher to us, or a practicum field experience student, we have to have an agreement, covers things like insurance and things like that. And we're very pleased to be able to do that. So we have multiple teaching agreements with different colleges and universities around the area. And this is something that's been updated every year. So we're pleased to provide that service.
Anything else you'd like to add today?
No, I just want to say thank you again to our community.
All right. Dr. Kritsten Rickey, Superintendent at West Delaware, with part one of our guest of the day segment here on KMCH with last night's West Delaware School Board meeting recap. Stick around. Tim Vick expected to be here in just a moment for a recap of the Manchester City Council.